Y'all look beautiful. I'm so happy to be here in New Orleans with all these beautiful black people. I don't know what to do. This here is just what America look like. Black, beautiful, educated, and all the rest. So I'm gonna go ahead on and be at home because we here. And every rally that we do, we start one particular way in District 86. I say, who fired up? And the crowd respond, we fired up. You ready? Yeah. Who fired up? We fired up. Who fired up? We fired up. Who fired up? Yeah, we fired up. We fired up because we've got to be fired up for such a time as this. We've got to be fired up to fight for diversity, equity, and inclusion and DEI candidates. We've got to be fired up because of Project 2025, white supremacy and racism continuing to be on the prowl. We've got to be fired up against domestic terrorism and capitalistic exploitation. Y'all, we've got to be fired up. It's time to be fired up when they're trying to silence our voices, refusing to acknowledge the beauty of our brilliance. You even got racist Ron and governors talking about black history has no value. We've got to be fired up. Fired up because we need to make real the words written into the founding documents of this nation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all people are created equal and endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, and that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We've got to be fired up. And this is our moment. This is our time. This is our opportunity to be fired up for the movement for justice rooted in love. Let me get through some thank yous. Y'all got me so excited so soon. My time halfway out. I'm the son of a preacher and teacher, but I can't hold you long because it's a whole production. And it won't be a hook that come and get me. It's gonna be a team of about 10 black women running this thing. And so I'm gonna do my thank yous. I'm gonna say a few words, then I'm gonna go back to where they tell me to be. But to the amazing president of this organization, to President Mark, thank you for your kind introduction, but also for your extraordinary leadership of this organization. To the amazing staff here at the Hyatt. Please give a round of applause to everybody who's bringing out food, everybody who's making this work. Now somebody stand up and thank the people who making this work and making this place beautiful, and who washing the plates and cooking the food, and who decorated the flowers that you smelling and looking at. Somebody else tell your neighbor who's sitting down to get up, because if it wasn't for working class people and people of the labor movement, there would be no people in this room. So get everybody up and give a round of applause to the folk who made this pretty place that we all celebrating and enjoying possible. Thank you all so very much. Sometimes it's a shame. People put on real expensive clothes and forget how far God done brought them. To a leader of our community, Mr. Roland Martin, who is here, helped raise over $1 million for Vice President Harris. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To the black women, I know a lot of y'all were on that call. Thank y'all for making that happen. To the Memphis Urban League and my Tennessee folks, President Gail Carson and everyone, thank you for what you do. To one of my dearest friends, Danica White, who journeyed up from Memphis, took the 6-hour drive. Thank you for being here. To my family who will watch this later, but it's a lot of them, so they couldn't make it. Y'all ain't got enough tables. And to the love of my life, the apple of my eye, the black in my black coffee. The best thing that happened to me since God said, let there be light. Ocean A. Gilliam, I love you, I thank you, I appreciate you, and thank you for being here with me. Y'all, we are living in a time of immense importance and an immense American paradox. Black women who for too long have been neglected and rejected. Black women who've been written out of history books and deprived of opportunities that they are due has become too commonplace in our country. Black women who have built this democracy, ensured its survival time after time again, have not been given their due. And now it is time. And it is our responsibility to ensure that a black woman holds the highest position in the land come November. Yet, this is a nonpartisan event. Let me get that out of the way. I got to give cover to Mark and the rest of y'all. I'm a partisan person, but this is a nonpartisan event. Too many names of black women for too long have been underthanked and underrecognized. You know, Mary Church Terrell, Sojourner Truth, Fannie Lou Hamer, Mammy Till, Merle Evers, Christine Williams King, Emma Berdice Jones, Louise Little, Coretta Scott King, Mary Jane Patterson, Dorothy Hyde, Ida B. Wells Barnett. Too many black women have been underthanked and underappreciated, but y'all, it's going to be on the wings of those angels that everybody is going to learn a name. Everybody's going to learn a name who's going to carry them to a very high place. They're going to learn how to pronounce Kamala. They're going to learn how to pronounce it. Kamala. It's Kamala. Kamala. You're going to learn how to do it. We got unique names. They used to make fun of us because of how we named our children, but now you're going to learn a new name called Kamala, and you're going to put Vice President now and President soon. Because she's carrying black women to the place and position they should have been. This is a moment of importance and paradox because we've got to say another name, Sonia Massey, who should be alive today. We've got to say her name. We speak a lot when black men get killed. We all know George Floyd. We all know Trayvon Martin. We know my beloved, seemingly God brother now, Tyree Nichols. But we need to learn to make sure we're saying black women's names, because we have a responsibility to protect black women, to defend black women, to fight for black women how black women fight for us. Why do I start my talking about black women? Because our country only exists because of black women. They raised black children, had black children stolen from them too, raised white children, and still went home after suffering under the brutality of systems of injustice and raised children to believe that they were somebody. Ain't no black man standing up here without black women. And it's about time we all get on board for clapping and stomping and shouting and thanking God for black women. Matter of fact, let's take 30 seconds of my speech to thank black women. Thank you. If it's a black or a white man sitting down next to you, raise your hand. Everybody need to stand up and thank black women for all of the marching, for all of the fighting, for all of that they have given in order to build this country. You need to stand up and thank black women. And if somebody ain't clapping loud enough, black women, clap harder for yourself. My grandmother with two of those black women, two black women who were killed due to pollution from oil and gas and petrochemical companies like Valero and Exxon and Shell, which surrounded Westwood in District 86, which I now represent. These same companies are polluting the communities of Louisiana and what has been termed Cancer Alley. The same stretches of land that were once plantations now have plants on them in Louisiana. So while we come to celebrate and have fun and all those good things, let us hold true to the reality of black experience. A black child is 10 times more likely to die from an asthma attack than a white child. Black women's mortality rate is 3 times higher than white women's mortality rate, and the environment has something to do with it. So I love people coming here and celebrating blackness, but make sure that our communities are being supported and are not continuously being sacrificed. I'm almost out of time, so I'm gonna move forward with what I got to say here. My grandmama Pearson passed away when I was 12. In her house, she had this picture. You all might be familiar with it. The picture is of a very strong man reaching down, and there's an arm seemingly about to be pulled up, and there's a wall in between them. And at the bottom, it reads, "He ain't heavy." My grandmama's been gone a while now. I hadn't thought about that image for a while now, but when I got this opportunity, God sent it to me. And I believe that there's an important lesson for us to be learned in this wonderful image. We have a responsibility to lift some folk up. We have an opportunity to lift some folk up while simultaneously knocking the wall that's separating us down. And there is no level of education, there is no position or pedigree that can stop us from that responsibility of saying, you know what, she ain't heavy, I can lift her. He ain't heavy, they ain't heavy, I can lift them. Because I believe that when we do the opposite, we commit social death to ourselves. And in this moment in time, we need to adopt a mindset that they ain't heavy. Because if we adopt the tools of the oppressors, we ensure our own oppression, or as more aptly said by that black queer scholar and prophet Audre Lorde, the master's tools will not dismantle the master's house. And we have to realize that the people in our neighborhoods and families and communities, they ain't heavy. They just need some picking up, some lifting up, some loving, some caring, some tending. And it will be a shame on us if we take these college degrees and our education and our pedigrees, and we don't go back to the places that they said we needed to get out of and help to heal them and help to serve them. And if we take their direction, we'll end up calling ourselves super predators. If we take the direction of a status quo that incarcerates us, we'll end up incarcerating and locking up our own. We have to have a love ethic rooted in justice. Second, we need unity, not conformity. This is a time, National Urban League and all of my dear friends, for us to be united, not to be the same. Some of y'all ain't gonna like this speech, that's fine. I wouldn't like your speech, also fine. But I love you enough to realize that we have shared interest. And our shared interest supersedes how I feel about you, because we realize what is at stake in this moment in time, and our unity is our only hope. Our unity is our only hope. It means celebrating one another's differences without allowing ourselves to become divisionists. Our unity means lifting up the diversity of our opinions and our ideas and our ideals, not just going along to get along. Our unity means resisting evil in every form that it takes, in every level of government, whether we're state representatives, city councilors, county commissioners, U.S. senators, presidents of the United States. We have to ensure that we resist evil in every form that it takes. As a white supremacist, domestic terrorist, felon who's running for president of the United States, well, that's the evil that it takes. That's the form that it takes. We must resist it. Our unity must mean lifting up all voices to be heard, recognized as equals, no matter people's positions and roles. Our unity means there is room enough for everybody in a movement for justice rooted in love. We need unity, not conformity. And lastly, somebody say we must reclaim our rightful place. A lot of things happened in the year 1776. July 4th is a big day for us in this country. It was the day that the Declaration of Independence was signed. The Constitution was another really important document that was signed a few years later after America gained its independence. And I celebrate Juneteenth and July 4th because it was in 1770 that a black man by the name of Crispus Attucks was killed for America's freedom. Y'all, this is our country. That's why I always wear my flag. We have to reclaim our rightful place in this constitutional democratic republic experiment, because they wrote some words down. And when they wrote them, they called us 3/5 of a person. They wrote the words down, and many of them at that time were enslaving folk. They wrote these words down saying this don't apply to them, but they're such powerful words. We, the people. It's my favorite 3 words in the whole Constitution. I ain't got my pocket Constitution, I'll show it to you. My favorite 3 words, Madam Secretary. We, the people. You know why I love it? It sounds so black. It's the blackest sound. We, the people. We, the people. We, the people. Let's try. We the people who will fight for justice. We the people who will fight for equality. We the people who will make sure opportunity and justice are on the ballot. We who will make sure that women's right to choose is on the ballot. We who will fight for equality, knowing that nobody is free until everybody is free. We who believe in liberty and justice for all. We who will fight for women's rights and civil rights. We who know we have to fight for our LGBTQIA plus siblings, because the discrimination against them is discrimination against all of us. We who go stand up for freedom. We who go stand up for righteousness. We the people who are unbound. We are the people who are unbent. We are the people who are unbroken. We are the people who will save this democracy. We who will never quit. We who America needs. We who the world's been waiting on. We the people. 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 God bless you. I love you.